Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3.
Morning.
Morning.
Just
Is
for
John coming in from wherever he is? Is he Zooming today? Do we know?
I see him in the attendee list. He just
Oh, I guess the answer is yes. I thought he was.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Sean.
All right. I looked at the agenda last night, but I did not save it. So I know our first, do we have public comment at 10? Is that what we're starting with?
Yes. And no updates or anything like that.
Yeah. All right. Let me just pop this open. And I know Brian is off on his family trip, right?
Yes. All right, there we go. All right, so let me see if there is anybody in the attendee list. And there's 2 people. So let's start our meeting. This is a normally scheduled Tuesday meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. We only have one action session on the meeting today for an abatement hearing. But in advance of that, if anybody's come here to make a public comment, please raise your hand and Beth will move you over to become a panelist. And then you can have up to 3 minutes to tell us what's on your mind.
and given that we only have one member of the public here, no pressure. We'll be here for 15 minutes, hoping you have something to say.
All right. I guess there's no public comments, so we'll close public comments. Is there anything that we need to discuss before the action session at 10:15? If not, maybe we can just take a quick break and come back.
Could we do, I know we're not on the agenda for it, but we had an executive session that we decided we didn't have time to give its due. The subject matter is, I think, fairly timely, and we do need to find a way to carve out an hour for us all to be able to focus. Can we work on scheduling that this week right now?
Or, I mean, like I said, I have until 11, and my understanding is this hearing shouldn't take a really long time. I mean, the abatement hearing.
I don't have the sense. I guess I would kind of like for us to have time to really go through this topic to a conclusion that we can all understand very well and be in very robust agreement on.
What's the topic?
Higher authority negotiations.
Oh, I think one challenge is we have the NACO meeting this week,
Yeah.
but I don't disagree with that. I think we could also potentially talk about use whatever time we have now, and then we can see how far it gets us and continue the conversation later if needed. And I'm always available before or after hours if needed.
You are right that NACO is a major obstacle. I actually don't have another time. I mean, I guess a Wednesday afternoon could meet posting requirements, and I do have time tomorrow afternoon.
I don't have time tomorrow afternoon. Oh no, wait, let me see. Yeah, I do. Sorry. I was looking at Thursday.
Yeah, I'll be in my car from like 3:15 until 5 tomorrow, but that's really the only time that I have. And then Thursday and Friday are a little bit better. I mean, I wouldn't mind just stepping away from NACO and making this a priority if that's what needs to happen.
I'm curious, I have on my calendar on Thursday at 8:30 a mayors and commissioners meeting. Is that still?
I see that too.
I'm not sure it's actually,
That is the regular scheduled time for it. I'm not sure if you guys want to suspend it until Brian gets back, because I think he usually goes with you all. Or we can go ahead and keep it and work on an agenda in the next day, whatever you'd like to do.
I think it's not unusual to cancel things in summer, especially in July. So I wouldn't mind doing that.
Okay,
yeah, the
Can we,
cat. Oh yeah, that's Thursday, so we would have time to notice it. Sorry, George.
can we do a reschedule that mayors and commissioners thing? I think we've got some topics that I'd love to hear. And then anybody who's available from our board to attend is welcome, but I would really love to have the mayors in one room where we can talk about some of the stuff that we're working on.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Either of the next 3 Thursdays would work for me for that, if we want to keep it on a Thursday.
We could try for the 28th. The 4th does not work for me.
I mean, try for the 28th,
Actually, when does Brian come back? Is it not for a little bit?
a week from today.
Okay, so he
I
would
think
be
he
back.
actually comes back on Wednesday, so.
He's here on the 27th.
So if we try to move the mayors and commissioners meeting to the 28th, is Beth, are you, I'm sorry, I know normally Brian would nod his head and get it done.
Yeah, I can make the change for you, and then I'll send you our last agenda and see what edits you all have for it. And then I can send it out to all the players if you'd like.
That would be great.
Okay.
So would we like to do an executive session then? On this Thursday, since we're canceling that, does that work a little better, or is that not
This
enough time?
Thursday.
George?
Did we say this Thursday here?
To have them, you mean to
Yeah,
meet at
that's
the
right.
BOCC on Thursday and do the executive session?
Yeah, that's why I was just throwing it out there, or maybe not. I just wanted to, since that time looks like it had been set aside. Anyway, I just don't know if George will be ready or not.
Yeah, I mean, technically that time's double booked with this national conference
Oh,
down in Adams County.
okay.
I have something from this Thursday. I have a meeting at 10, a meeting at 11. And then I've got to and then I've got I'm on a panel at NACO at 1:30. So really about all I have is noon to 12 to 12:30, something like that if I race. So
Do we
it's
want
not
to, can we look to Monday, the 25th? I know I'm open all day. The leadership, Brian's not here. The leadership team meeting is canceled. So if anybody has time on Monday, we could always do it then.
That works for me.
I have a meeting in Boulder at 12:30 on Monday, visit in person. So what time are you talking again?
Want to do 8:30 on Monday, or does that work for everybody?
That would work. I'd have to be out by 10. I have a chiropractor's appointment at 10:30.
I don't think that'll be any problem at all. Will you be able to get to your appointment?
I'm only 15 minutes away from my
Okay.
appointment. If I left at 10:15, I'd be good, actually. Plenty of
Okay.
time.
So
If we meet
8:30
at
Monday
8:30.
morning? Peter, do you want public comment and executive session or just executive session?
Yeah, we'll open up with a regular session, public comment, go into executive session, come back and close the meeting out.
Okay.
That works.
And Peter and I have done the homework that we committed to. And we'll have everything that we were able to come up with will be prepared and ready for us to hopefully just really carve out some time to really be focused, take the topic up from beginning to end, and just know where we are in a real holistic way that we can communicate.
So Peter, I'm going to use that executive session language from today and just carry that over to Monday, the 25th, right?
Correct.
Okay.
What I would suggest, because it sounds like you have some very specific thoughts in your mind, George, maybe we could use the last half hour of the meeting today where you can kind of let us know what's going on there so that we can be prepared for the meeting on Monday also.
That if you feel that's valuable, I'm happy to do it. We can, whether it takes a half hour or 10 minutes or whatever, we can just kind of rehash and update and kind of go over it in a summary version.
I think that would be useful.
And then still come back on Thursday, is that correct?
Monday.
Monday, I mean, yeah, right.
Yeah, that sounds good. And look at that, it's almost 10:15.
I have just enough time to put 8:30 Monday into my calendar.
My email has become inundated with NACO vendors.
I know, me too.
They just keep calling me, and it's like I'm not going to go to another NACO annual conference just so I don't have to deal with the marketing.
I got to figure out who to vote for the second vice president.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's been torturing me too.
It's critical.
Did you all get a text message with voting credentials and all
No,
that?
I didn't. They must see you as special.
You have my proxy, George.
Yeah.
They might have decided I'm the voter because I got a text message to test the voting system. We'll just have to, and I presume we're posted for those meetings, and we'll just have to figure it out.
They may have you in there as the last chair or something like that. You were chair last year. That's what I'm guessing.
Hmm.
And it doesn't make any difference to me.
All right, well, with that said, here we are at 10:15. We're here to conduct an abatement hearing. I believe it's one property owner with multiple properties. I'm not sure whether they're planning on attending via Zoom, but with that said, Diana, we'll turn it over to you.
Morning. This is 44 mining claims way up Lamartine. And I thought Mr. Webster and I came to an agreement, which is what is in the board agenda background memo. That's what we have agreed upon. And between the two of us, we've hashed this out over months, obviously. And so there are 44 abatements, and he owns more mining claims than that, but the other ones are at $200 an acre because they have no access. So these are the ones he was concerned about. So it's a total adjustment. Well, we adjusted them all to a poor location from Fair just because of the location way up on Lamartine. And And then some of the properties were adjusted for irregular shape, and then a couple of them were taken to the $200 an acre because they have a little tiny triangle that touches the road, and then the mining claim crosses them, and then they have other pieces, and they're not really usable at this point unless he, goes in there and changes them around. So my adjustment for, let's see, he has part of him. What did I do with that? Oh, Annis Canfield is a bunch of the claims, and that's an adjustment total for $5,006.84. Etna Kruger name, he has several claims under that. That adjustment is $1,134.70. And then for Waccoon, which is only one claim, and that one is one we're taking to the $200 an acre. It's $439.70 for 2019. And then for 2020, the adjustment for Annis Canfield is $5,024.84. For Etna Kruger, it's $1,138.84. And for Waccoon, it is $441.27. I mean, these are 44 properties. I know it seems like a lot of money, but when the property values start going up, and that then their taxes go up, and then they start questioning what we're doing. So.
Okay, could you just give us a really quick thumbnail on like kind of what the valuations have been doing for those different classes of mining properties over the last few years? And I'm just kind of wanting to understand better what precipitated the homeowner to make a widespread request like this.
Yeah, they have gone up quite a bit. I think some of his were in the $6,000 to $10,000 range, and they've come up to let's see, around 22,000. So they have, and he was looking at the percentage of the increase. Well, they're in the 16, 17, 22 is my initial value. And then my adjustments are on those spreadsheets. And he was just looking at the percentage of increase, not the market of the properties, because he wasn't basing his adjustments on sales.
In that, so it sounds like the percentage of increase was over 100% in some of the cases.
Yes, it was.
Okay. I don't think I have any other questions. I mean, it sounds like that you and the property owner have reached a mutually acceptable agreement. So I'm not sure there's a whole lot for us to discuss. But with that said, I'll turn it over to Randy and George for any questions or comments you may have.
I have none.
I don't have any comments either. I mean, this all seems fairly straightforward. It's a lot of pretty minor adjustments. I am curious if anyone on our staff has reviewed this and has any comment.
I reviewed it actually last week and then went through the agenda package again yesterday. I don't have any questions about it. I was going to recommend that if the board does do motions, then in fact, a single motion is fine as long as you refer to the spreadsheet and the attachments in the spreadsheet so that you don't have to read each individual parcel number out. But just make reference to the spreadsheet in the packet and the parcels that are referenced in the spreadsheet. That's all I'd ask, but I think that's fine. Beth, did you have any comments? Because I know you work with Diane on these.
I trust Diane. I remember when these sold a long time ago, and there were big plans. And I don't know that much has happened up there. So
nothing's happened because the county wouldn't let him develop up there because he wanted to put in that big retreat up there. And it's too far off the beaten path.
Yeah. So I thought he didn't he put a couple houses up there or something?
He put one house up there, which he recently sold.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I don't have any comments.
Or do you want to put out a wholesale motion for this?
I can take a stab at it. I move we accept the assessor's recommendations for tax abatement on all of the properties and parcel numbers that are described in the spreadsheet in the meeting packet. There's one page that describes the Antis Canfield properties. Another page describes the Etna Kruger properties and the Walken LLC properties. Is that a sufficient description?
Works for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I think I would just say, I would just add to it, on the spreadsheet within our packet today, it says revised 6/8/22, revised June 8th, 2022, just so we specify it in some manner. But yeah, otherwise I'm second.
I accept
right.
that modification.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
All right.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you so much, Diane and Beth and Peter.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, so we don't have an hour. We got 40 minutes. You're gonna send us a link, Peter?
I am going to send you a link, and I'll read in the motion whenever you're ready.
Okay, so the board moves into executive session to discuss the following matters.
Pursuant to CRS 246402(4)B and E, for the county attorney to meet with the Board of County Commissioners for the purposes of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions pertaining to entering into a new intergovernmental agreement with the Clear Creek County Fire Authority, the Clear Creek Fire Authority prior to or upon the expiration of the current agreement, and to determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations, and instructing negotiators with regard to a new intergovernmental agreement with the Clear Creek Fire Authority. And I will send the link in a moment.
All right, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Opposed, same sign. The board will now move into executive session. No written minutes will be kept and no decisions will be made. And we will be returning briefly before 11 o'clock, just for the purpose of closing this public meeting. There will be no further agenda items. See you guys on the other side.